Rumors that WWE Hall of Famer Hulk Hogan was in hospital and seriously ill are reportedly wide of the mark, with representatives for Hulk Hogan saying that all the rumors are fake news. We've got all the details on that. Plus, Mone confirms she's in a relationship with fellow AEW star The Beast Mortos. Vince McMahon reportedly held talks with Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship about possibly purchasing the company. The Undertaker could be set for a role on the WWE creative team. Plans for WWE Evolution reportedly are changing now Liv Morgan suffered the injury Monday night on Raw. The date for Smackdown's return to 2 hours is possibly revealed. Conans says WWE's endgame for AAA is to get a television deal. Bandito says he will speak to Tony Khan about Mascara Dorado coming to AEW. Bryan Danielson is spotted in the crowd for the CMLL AEW event. Gunther responds to Goldberg after the confrontation Monday night on Raw, confirming their match for Saturday night's main event for the World Heavyweight Championship. And Charlotte Flair says she feels that women will never be the final match at WrestleMania again unless the show goes back to being just one night. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Before we begin, you can see right there, we are just 18 subscribers away from 22,500 on that road to 25k in 2025. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. Join the ever-expanding WNU, that being the Wrestling News universe. In addition, you can scan the QR code right there on the sidebar and become a member of the WN365 roster. You get your badges, your emojis, and your exclusive members-only content. Right, let's begin with rumors of ill health of WWE Hall of Famer Hulk Hogan. Now, these rumors began with Hogan's former friend, now turned quite bitter enemy, Bubba the Love Sponge, on his radio program when the radio broadcaster had the following to say about rumors speculating about the WWE Hall of Famer's health, suggesting he was in hospital and it didn't look good.
If you did some sniffing around, you might find him in a hospital near you.
Oh, no.
And it's not good. I got some pretty reliable information last night that there are phone calls being made to various family members about getting to town to come say your goodbyes.
Oh.
I don't know.
Have you been invited?
Well, of course, I'll be the line. No.
Oh, of course you're going to be. Oh.
Of course, since I'm top of the list of not getting in.
What if he does want to forgive you on his deathbed, though? That would mean a lot to you.
I mean, I have to run it by Seth.
What? Yeah, no.
Seth, he doesn't have your new number.
He didn't have my new number. Yeah. He can get a hold of me. But, so, listen, I don't know this to be true. Rumor has it. Word on the street.
Well, how reliable are your sources? I mean,
pretty damn reliable, but I still want to frame it, Seth, in case he got discharged last night at midnight, and I've not been able to talk to my sources, since yesterday. 6 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
So my sources are that, and I don't know it to be true. Rumor has it. Allegedly, Hogan is in the hospital, and I've heard people say that he might not make it.
Oh.
Now, there are a lot of pushback to these rumors coming from Bubba the Love Sponge. Now, let's begin with TMZ Sports. They are stating that Hulk Hogan is not on his last legs. TMZ Sports are saying they have been told the WWE legend was hospitalized to address lingering neck and back issues this week, but he is by no means on his deathbed. As I said, the speculation started when Bubba the Love Sponge went on the air and stated he heard that Hogan was in bad shape to the point where his loved ones were getting called in to say their goodbyes. Now, Bubba the Love Sponge, as you saw in that clip, said that he had a lot of intel and his source was solid, but a rep for Hogan has told TMZ Sports that the 71-year-old isn't close to death. He's just dealing with more of the same ailments he's had for years. In fact, according to TMZ Sports, they are told that Hogan's back is he's actually back to moving around already. Now, Now, of course, it was previously reported that Hogan underwent a neck surgery last month, but by all accounts, it was a big success. In addition to that, Eric Bischoff has actually said to the producer for the Wrestling Observer, saying, quote, Hulk Hogan had a very successful cervical surgery and is experiencing some adverse reaction. He's doing well, and he should be home later today. Doctors are expecting a full recovery. So those rumors suggesting that Hogan was on his deathbed reportedly are wide of the mark. Now, Mercedes Moné has confirmed she's in a relationship with a fellow AEW star. Now, Mercedes Moné has confirmed her first public relationship since finalizing her divorce from WWE costume designer Sarah Ton last summer. TMZ has confirmed the TBS champion is in a relationship with fellow AEW star The Beast Mortos. Mortos posted an Instagram story of himself with an emoji covering his unmasked face alongside Moné on Monday. TMZ posted a screen grab of the Instagram story, which Mortos captioned in Spanish, which translated to, "In your arms I find peace." Now, Moné is seen smiling beside the luchador, though his face, of course, is obscured by the bull emoji. Moné seemed to confirm the news herself on X on Tuesday when she posted, "I can't wait to sue all of you," along with a roar, seemingly referencing Mortos' own X post from Monday about being one step closer to becoming a lawyer after passing his law exams. TMZ noted in its report that Mortos is a man of many talents and he used to be a veterinarian and a nurse before beginning to study law, all while making it in the ring in AEW. Now, in addition to that, Moné did confirm that this was a legitimate relationship, describing it to TMZ as, quote, a real beauty and beast situation. So congratulations to them both. Now, a really interesting story here regarding Vince McMahon and his post-WWE investments or desires to purchase another combat sports promotion. Bare Knuckle FC founder and president David Feldman has discussed meeting with Vince McMahon. Now, over the course of the past few months, rumors have grown about Vince McMahon returning to promoting in some capacity, with rumors circulating about things such as him buying back WWE and him possibly starting a brand new wrestling company. Now, back in April, Eric Bischoff made the claim that McMahon had met with representatives of Bare Knuckle FC, a bare knuckle boxing promotion. While speaking to Undisputed in a new interview, BKFC founder and president David Feldman confirmed that he has met with McMahon, and the former owner of WWE was, quote, very serious, end quote, about doing business. Quote, he's a great guy, his whole team is great, but the timing wasn't right for us. He's Vince McMahon. If I were him, I'd want creative control too. He was awesome, very complimentary, and he was very serious to do business, end quote. Now, McMahon recently began a private investment firm known as 14th and I. Of course, we get any more details on his post-WWE future, we'll let you know in an upcoming video. Now, going back to WWE, could Hall of Famer The Undertaker be set for a role in creative? With the WWE Hall of Famer having been backstage at Worlds Collide on June 7th, further details have emerged as to what he was doing at the crossover show with AAA. Speaking on Keeping It 100, Conan confirmed that The Undertaker was backstage at the event. Believing he's interested in joining the creative team, Conan said, quote, I think that Undertaker wants to get into creative. He likes it a lot, and he was with the creative at Money in the Bank. He was at Worlds Collide, and I think he's very interested in being part of the creative team. He'd do well, bro, because I listened to some of his thoughts and I agreed. Of course, we get any more details on The Undertaker possibly joining creative in WWE. We'll let you know in future videos as more reports become available. Now, plans for Evolution could be in flux after Liv Morgan suffered her dislocated shoulder Monday night on Raw. Morgan, as I mentioned, suffered that dislocated shoulder at the start of her match on the June 16th episode of Raw on Netflix. The injury was severe enough for the match to be rapidly brought to an end, with Kairi Sane being declared the winner and Michael Cole later confirming Morgan's injury. With Nikki Bella having recently returned and confronted Morgan, it appears that the pair would square off in some capacity at WWE Evolution, the all-women's PLE taking place on July 13th. It's now being reported that the match is not only not happening, but that the implications have stretched beyond Liv Morgan versus Nikki Bella for the show. Speaking on Sportskeeda's WrestleBinge, WrestleVotes reported that WWE has, quote, started from scratch, end quote, when it comes to planning Evolution, stating, quote, I was told this morning that this injury has now caused a lot of the Evolution card to basically be scrapped, ripped up, and started from scratch because she was pegged for a big-time tag team match that is not going to happen now. That spot is going to be filled by somebody else, and it's going to have a lot of ripple effects. Now, as of the time of recording, it isn't clear who will face Nikki Bella at the obviously coming up to the first Evolution PLE since 2018. Morgan is one half of the Women's Tag Team Champions alongside Raquel Rodriguez. As previously noted, the injury is being treated as a freak occurrence, with WWE wanting to learn the severity and waiting to learn the severity of the dislocation as of June 17th. Of course, we wish her the best in her recovery from her injury. Now, I brought you the story earlier today regarding SmackDown going back to a 2-hour format. There's been so much speculation about SmackDown going back to 2 hours ever since the show changed to a 3-hour runtime earlier this year. As it turns out, the Blue brand will return to the classic 2-hour format actually sooner than expected. According to a report from PW Insider, Friday Night SmackDown will return to the old 2-hour format on July 4th. Therefore, fans won't have to wait too much longer to say goodbye to SmackDown being a 3-hour show. This comes after we spoke earlier today that Friday Night SmackDown would be sticking to a 3-hour format for the foreseeable future. On the other hand, it was then speculated the show was going to revert back to 2 hours, possibly in August, because of a new show called The Rainmaker on USA. However, now, according to PW Insider, it'll be going back much sooner than that. In terms of the reaction and the reception to the 3-hour Friday night broadcast, it's been a bit of a mixed response from fans, hasn't it? That's because many felt the show simply didn't have enough content or proper stories to make the 3-hour transition watchable. But with July 4th just around the corner, fans seemingly can look forward to a more compact and streamlined show that gets back to what made the Blue brand must-see TV in the first place. Now, talking about AAA once again, and words coming from Conan, Conan's thoughts about Worlds Collide and working with Corey Graves have been revealed. WWE and AAA presented their first joint show since WWE announced its acquisition of AAA back in April. Worlds Collide took place on June 7th from the Kia Forum in Inglewood, California. On the call for the show was the duo of Corey Graves and AAA creative team member Conan. He reflected on the event during the latest episode of his Keeping It 100 podcast with Conan and Disco. He spoke highly of Graves and said he was very prepared. While they were going over notes, Conan noticed that Graves kept pronouncing Dallas's name wrong. Conan had the thought in mind to get Graves to get on to Graves about that during the broadcast, but he decided not to because he felt Graves was cool. Conan described Jeremy Borash as incredible to work with. He circled back to Graves and said the NXT commentator took care of him. Conan thinks he put too much pressure on himself and does not feel he was at his best. He believes if there's another opportunity, he'll be better. He said, quote, "Let me just put it to you this way," and this was the way it should have been. He was afraid not to be prepared. So he was very prepared. He's very professional. You know, his brother's Sam Adonis, right? And so he talked to his brother, who's been in Mexico at least 10 years now. Corey was great. Yeah, he had copious notes, and then I just helped him on a couple of things, pronunciations. I was thinking he keeps saying this name wrong. I'm going to nail him on the air for doing it. But he was cool. I didn't. Jeremy Borash was incredible because he's on top of everything and he's making sure our shit's cool and the matches are cool. And, you know, he made me feel comfortable. He was great. Corey was great. I couldn't have had a better partner and he took care of me. Let me put it to you that way. I hadn't done this in over 10 years or so. And I think I put too much pressure on myself and thought that I wasn't at my best. But if we do this again, everybody said they liked it, but anyways, I didn't. But if we do it again, I'll definitely bring in a better game. After the show, Conan ran into WWE President Nick Khan. Khan told Conan they hit a grand slam with Worlds Collide. Quote, "When I spoke, and I spoke to him briefly, to Nick Khan, yes, I'm a Nick Khan guy, I said, I think we hit a home run. And he said, no, we hit a grand slam. So that's the president. They're happy, bro." Now, as the conversation progressed, Conan stated that WWE's endgame is to get AAA a TV deal. He then spoke about the popularity of Mr. Iguana and confirmed that WWE will be selling Mr. Iguana's La Yazeka hand puppets. Quote, "You got to understand, bro, and this is just common sense. You don't have to be in meetings to know this. Big project can fall apart like that for whatever reason. We had a lot of bad luck getting here, but we're finally here. And their endgame is to get us a TV deal. And if that happens, shit's on. But all I've been doing is advocating lucha, and you see what happened. This is just the beginning. They're really invested. Bro, you know the Mr. Iguana guy? They already made a t-shirt because I talked to him today, and it's the 5th best-selling t-shirt. And that guy came on TV once. Yeah, they're going to be selling Iguana hand puppets." Speaking of Mexican wrestlers, a bit of an update here when it comes to Mexican wrestlers coming to AEW, courtesy of CMLL. Bandito and Mascara Dorado shared a moment at the CMLL versus Ring of Honor event. Bandito successfully defended his Ring of Honor World Championship against Mascara Dorado in the main event of CMLL versus Ring of Honor on June 17th. After the event, the two had the following exchange. Bandito said, "People, you have one of the best era wrestlers in 2025. Mascara Dorado, you are awesome, which is why I demand that you are part of AEW." The crowd then booed. Bandito said, "Hey man, we come and go and wrestle in CMLL too, and we can achieve a lot of stuff over there. What do you say?" Dorado said, "Bandito, you and I met in the locker room of AEW, and I said I wanted to face on the best to have been in CMLL, and that was you. I thank you for that great match. Win or lose, I don't care, because Mascara Dorado is ready for great challenges like the one you mentioned. I will be forever thankful for that." Bandito said, "All good. I will speak to Tony Khan, but you are for sure coming to AEW. Thank you." Now, of course, Dorado has been part of multiple AEW events in 2025. That includes the likes of AEW Summer Blockbuster, as well as AEW Fighter Fest. Now, in this show, we actually saw Bryan Danielson at ringside alongside Chris Herro during the June 17th CMLL versus AEW and Ring of Honor event in Mexico. Former AEW World Champion Bryan Danielson was shown sitting in the crowd and taking the festivities. Next to him was former Ring of Honor World Champion, Tag Team Champion Chris Herro. Both men currently work behind the scenes for AEW. Bryan Danielson wrestled in CMLL during his retirement run from full-time professional wrestling last year. While he hasn't ruled out a potential return to the ring, he says he currently isn't cleared. Chris Herro still wrestles occasionally. We'll have to wait and see if he ever does return to the ring, though. Gunther, he has reacted to being confronted by Goldberg Monday night on Raw. Gunther says he can spare 3 minutes for the WWE Hall of Famer. On the June 16th edition of WWE Monday Night Raw, Goldberg would make the return to WWE programming to confront Gunther, letting him know that he's next. Soon after, the match would be made official for next month's WWE Saturday Night Main Event show, with the World Heavyweight Championship on the line. In a new social media post on Tuesday, Gunther would react to the news, noting that he can spare 3 minutes for Goldberg. He said, quote, "I'm next, ... Guess I can spare 3 minutes." And finally, Charlotte's had some interesting things to say about females main eventing WrestleMania. Now, the latest guest to join Julian Elderman on his Games with Names podcast was Charlotte Flair. They were discussing Survivor Series 2018 and that leading up to WrestleMania 35. The main event, of course, triple threat match featuring Flair, Ronda Rousey, and Becky Lynch. Flair shared her opinion that women being the final match at a WrestleMania will never happen again unless the event goes back to being one night. She went on to add that the main event at WrestleMania 35 would not have happened without Rousey. She said, quote, "And it was the main event of only one night. Now we have 2 nights, so it's a big deal. Now you have 2 nights, 2 different opportunities, so that being the main event of one night was huge, and it will never happen again unless we go to one night. We would have not main evented WrestleMania had it not been for Ronda Rousey, hands down, when she wanted to join what we had already started to build, but her star power, her credibility, her outside influence, that audience that she brought, kudos to her. I know that, someone said in her book that she couldn't really wrestle, but at the end of the day, it really didn't matter. She was Ronda and she didn't need to. She had such an aura to her and really did figure it out and brought that much to the table. So I thank her for what she did for us, because she didn't have to come to wrestle. She'd already done it all and it was real. So she just added that legitimacy of what we were trying to do and we didn't have, and she caught on." Further speaking about the match, Flair said she hates it, but Rousey loves it. Although Flair is not a fan of the match, she liked the story that led up to it. Quote, "I hated our Mania match. Ronda Rousey, liked it. I hated it. The ending. It's all about the story, the match, but the story was insane." Of course, the last time women main evented WrestleMania was when Mercedes Moné, then known as Sasha Banks, and Bianca Belair closed WrestleMania 37 Night 1. But there you go, guys, the latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. As you can see right there, we're currently just 18 subscribers away from 22,500. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. You can scan that QR code, join members of the WN365 roster, get your badges, your emojis, and your exclusive members-only content. Appreciate everyone for tuning in, as always, and I'll speak to you again very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.